Willkommen zurück. Jetzt zu dem Panel, das wahrscheinlich von allen am meisten erwartet wurde. CIG bzw. CON42 steht uns Rede und Antwort. Ich will auch gar nicht weiter um den heißen Brei herumreden. Ich denke mal, ihr sitzt alle auf heißen Stühlen. Die eine oder andere Frage brennt euch vielleicht auch schon auf den Lippen. Ich werde natürlich keine Frage davon nehmen. Aber nichtsdestotrotz begrüßt mit mir David Sibbe, Patrick Gladys, Brian Chambers, Dan Triffin und Ben Anders. Ich werde mich hier oben verziehen. Ich bin unwichtig. Da oben ist das Wichtigste, was wir haben. Wenn ihr Fragen habt, auch natürlich ist es in diesem Panel genauso wie beim letzten Mal auch. Es werden Fragen aus dem Stream kommen. Wir wollen euch als die Community, die vor Ort ist, natürlich nicht außen vor lassen. Dementsprechend, wenn ihr eine Frage habt und ich die Zeit habe, um zu euch zu kommen, kurzes Handzeichen. Gebt uns nur bitte die Möglichkeit, stellt die Frage, wenn möglich, auf Englisch. Wenn ihr selbst gerade nicht in Englisch sprechen könnt, weil der Wortschatz vielleicht nicht passt, versuche ich das irgendwie mit meinem gebrochenen Englisch zu übersetzen. Gut. Welcome, guys. Nice to meet you. Once again. You ready? Wonderful. First of all, maybe we can make a little introduction of yourself. If you tell us who you are, what you are doing, what your job is at CON42. So, I don't know, who wants first? David.
Hello. Yeah, my name is David Sibbe, and I'm weapon artist. So, of course, I'm building weapons. Mainly first-person weapons, but also sometimes ship weapons. Yeah, that's what I do.
Hey, I'm Patrick Gladys. I'm on the CON42 or CIG DE environment art team, and we are mostly building all the procedural planets that you guys play on. Yeah.
My name is Brian Chambers, and I run the Frankfurt office.
All of it. Hi, my name is Dan Truffin. I'm the lead system designer in the Frankfurt office.
Hi, my name is Ben Anders. I'm a system designer in the Frankfurt office, and I mostly deal with AI and other awesome systems like the air traffic controller.
Wonderful. So, that's it. Of course, we have worked something out before this event happened, and we also were asking the community for questions that they were interested in being answered by you. So one of the questions was from Blubberlutsch. According to CIG, the life support system is not upgradable because the game can't make differences between consumed air and fresh air. How will this affect the maximum crew capacity in ships like the Cutlass Black? And can I transport 50 people without problems then?
Okay, I'll take this one. So the system can definitely differentiate between consumed air and unconsumed air. It's even going way deeper than that. We have percentages in every room of how much of every type of gas is present there. So we will know what levels of CO2, what level of nitrogen and oxygen are there. If the levels of oxygens are not enough, you will start slowly choking, suffocating, and all that stuff. So we know exactly what is inside the room. Obviously, it goes to the level where if the levels of oxygen are too much, you will have hyperoxia and other problems at that point. But yeah, the system definitely knows. We are definitely also looking into ways to upgrade the life support systems. Obviously, the work for this is not necessarily super high priority. There's way more important things that we want to finish before we get that in. But that is in our plan. So we definitely want to differentiate between ships that can carry, as you said, 3 people or 50 people. You need a way beefier air reconditioning system, air filtration, and a CO2 scrubber in a ship that has to carry 50 people. Unless they have their own oxygen supply, in which case it's good, but oxygen is going to be a very expensive commodity in space, so you better be prepared and come with a lot of it, and it's going to cost you. If you have CO2 scrubbers, then that's going to go a lot cheaper, and you can carry all of those people without having to bring on supplies with you.
Okay, so ich werde natürlich versuchen, die Fragen, die ich hier vorlese, die auf Englisch geschrieben sind, zu übersetzen und auch die Antworten. Ich bin jetzt nicht der perfekte englisch sprechende Typ, dementsprechend verzeiht mir bitte den einen oder anderen Fehler. Die Frage war, I just translate for the audience, die Frage war, nach dem, was CIG damals sagte, ist das Supportsystem nicht in der Lage, zwischen frischer Luft und verbrauchter Luft zu unterscheiden und ob das irgendwie die maximale Anzahl an Membern auf dem Schiff beeinflusst oder ob ich in der Lage bin, einfach so 50 Leute mit meiner Cutlass durch die Gegend zu fliegen. Dan antwortete halt gerade, dass dies definitiv demnächst möglich sein wird. Das System ist jetzt schon in der Lage zu differenzieren zwischen verbrauchter und unverbrauchter Luft und auch zwischen anderen Gasen und dass sie dann halt gucken, ob man diese Support-Systeme, die Live-Support-Systeme upgraden kann, sodass man auch 50 Leute quasi ohne Probleme hin und her schiffen kann. So, der erste Glückliche, die erste Glückliche, irgendeine Frage? Da hinten sehe ich eine Hand blinken. Wie nein? Erst melden und dann Nein sagen? Ach, du wolltest in den Stream winken. So einer ist das. You just wanted to wave in the stream. There I see another hand blinking.
Hi. Ist aus? 1, 2, 3. I can speak loudly, no problem. It's a very, let's say, short but funny question. Is it ever planned to have the vending machines actively worked so that I can buy drinks or something? So it's
All right, so we already have animations for that. So it's definitely in the works. And the whole system of how we're going to spend money on the vending machines and get like food or like chips or water out of that, it is thought about. And as I said, if we have animations for stuff, we generally do it. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully done in the future.
okay, thanks.
Do the German version.
Also nette Snackautomaten, wir haben schon die Animationen dafür, die wurden schon gepeacapped, also alles von Schauspielern aufgenommen und generell, wenn wir Animationen für irgendwas haben, dann wird es umgesetzt und wir sind gerade dabei, auch in das System reinzuschauen, was man rausbekommt und was man alles in diesen Vending Machines bekommen könnte, also außerhalb von, ich sage jetzt mal, Wasser oder Chips, ja.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, I have a question from the stream. The technique is not working so good. One question from the stream is, why is the hammerhead still in 3.3 when so many tasks are undone?
Why is the hammerhead still in 3.3 when so many tasks in the product plan are undone? We don't have any ship guys.
Yeah, that's actually impossible for us on this table to answer. That would be one of the ship guys, and that was they know their detailed schedule and so on. We have priorities that we have to set for ourselves based off of all dependencies. We may have models that are actually complete, but there's not accurate time yet in the schedule for VFX or for audio or for tuning or for what have you. So sometimes you'll even see, you know, certain effects done for ships or even weapons, but that model's not done. So it's a gated process. So I can't answer it 100% direct as to exactly why, but I'm sure it's one of the downstream dependencies that we're still waiting on to finish.
Muss ich das übersetzen? Perfekt. Kann ich nicht. I'm just going to the another question. How will the finance system work for organizations? Will the earned money be spread among the members and or accumulated on one big organization account? And is it already in work?
So I'll try to answer that one. The organization stuff is still in development and a lot of stuff is still in flux. But we're generally going to try to let we're just going to try to provide the tools for them and they choose how they want to manage their money. If they want to pool all their resources together, it's up to them. If they want to be if they want to pay dividends to their members, it's up to them. We just want to build the tools in such a way that you guys choose what's the best option for your group, because the best option for this group will not be the best option for that group. So we're just trying to provide as many tools as possible so you guys can do whatever you want in the game.
When you are speaking about guys and tools, you're speaking about the CEOs of the organizations, right?
It will depend. We are looking also into ways of not having dictatorship type of organizations. So we're also looking into something that's a bit more open, a bit more democratic. Okay. So we'll see how that functions and we'll have to prototype it and we'll see how it goes. It might work, it might not. It's still early.
Okay. Kann ich übersetzen? Die Frage war, wie das Finanzsystem für Organisationen funktionieren soll, ob es möglich ist, das Geld, was man verdient hat, aufzuteilen auf verschiedene Leute oder ob das quasi nur auf einen großen Organisationskonto läuft und ob das mittlerweile oder schon in Arbeit ist. Die Antwort war, dass sie derzeit halt daran arbeiten, an einem Tool, das es ermöglicht, das Geld aufzuteilen, beziehungsweise diese Möglichkeiten für Personen bereitzustellen. Und auf die Nachfrage, die ich gestellt hatte, ob das quasi nur der Leiter einer Organisation kann, war die Antwort, dass auch da geguckt wird, dass man das nicht wie eine Diktatur macht, sodass nur eine Person quasi entscheidet, wer wie viel davon bekommt, sondern dass man da auch quasi demokratisch vorgehen kann. Frage aus dem Publikum. Wenn ich jetzt auch noch Kilometergeld kriegen würde, das wäre schön.
Do you think or know that Planet Tech will support caves? And if so, will we be able to find or build structures in these caves?
All right, that one's probably on me. So, when we speak of the Planet Tech and what it supports right now, in the current state, it does not support caves, which doesn't mean that we can build caves ourselves, not using the tech. That would be a possibility. But when we just speak of the tech as it is right now, it does not do that, because there's so many other things that we need to solve first before we start thinking, about additional other, more exotic features like caves or rivers or, yeah, things like that. I was trying to think of something more exotic than a river, but no. Yeah. The second question was if you can build it yourself, right? Structures. Building structures yourself. I don't know about that. I honestly don't know about if...
So I'll try to add a bit on that. I'll honestly say that I don't think we took this into consideration, building structures inside of caves yet. Right now we're focusing on building structures outside, and I'm guessing once that is done, there is no reason for us to not go underground with this. I mean, it's real estate we can use. As long as the surface stuff is already working, yeah, we'll definitely look into this. I mean, we're looking into allowing you guys to build structures on planet, as you guys already know. We're looking into allowing you guys to build structures in space. There's no reason why we couldn't go inside the caves in the futures, but we first need to get to the point where we can have you guys build the first structures, and then we can take it one extra step. If we start building everything at the same time, we'll end up not delivering anything, and we don't want that.
Moment. Also wenn ihr eine Übersetzung von der Frage und der Antwort haben wollt, der Herr, der sie gestellt hat. Another question out of the stream was what is the biggest weakness of the lumberyard engine, and what is the strength of it? Gute Frage.
I mean, none of us here is a coder, so I'm pretty sure coders would have to say more about this, but the obvious strength of Lumberyard is the graphics are amazing, and it allows us to build, like, with our code team behind it, the kind of, like, scale we're doing right now. As far as weakness goes, I can only speak personally of it, which is why Dan is probably nodding as well. As designers, our coders have to build a lot of tools for designers, so we can add more stuff to the game without ever going to programmers to ask for support. This is what I say in my view, but yeah.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Again, coming from a design perspective, I would love to have the option to prototype a bit more. I know Lumberyard offers some possibilities for this, but we already kind of took our own road when it comes to Lumberyard, and we redid so much of the engine to tune it to what we need. That right now we're kind of in this place where we have to rely on code for most of the prototyping. We can do some of it, but I would say the prototyping tools that we have right now are not up to what I would love them to be. There's a lot of love that still needs to go there from the coding tools team, and I know at least in Frankfurt our tools team has increased lately big time, so I'm hoping to see that improve because we need faster prototyping.
With any engine you use, it's basically just a foundation, obviously, that we're building everything on. Depending on what game or what user experience you're going to have with that engine, there's going to be specific modifications that you're going to want to do. And those modifications will change from game to game to game, right, based on the needs of the game. Obviously, with something as large and ambitious and complex as the Star Citizen universe, there's quite a few things that we need to tweak and change. One of the things, though, that really did on the positive thing that pushed us over to Lumberyard was really the internal team behind Lumberyard itself. They really sold us on their passion behind games, behind helping to push their engine as hard as they can to enable these user experiences, not even just on the tech itself and the actual engine, but even some cross-platform and social media and streaming and all the back-end services they have as well. So that was a huge push for us, and it just is a business model, and in a sense, it made sense for us, also knowing that we would have, probably literally hundreds of programmers on the Lumberyard side that are actively working on this engine on a daily basis. And we knew that we could, and in the end, the game and further on, you guys benefit from that support.
Okay, thank you. Ist keine einfache Frage zu beantworten, zumindest die Übersetzung ist nicht einfach. Ich versuche das einfach kurz zu fassen, denn sonst stehe ich hier noch eine halbe Stunde und beantworte nur die eine Frage. Die Frage als solche war eigentlich, was die größte Stärke und die größte Schwäche von der Lumberyard Engine ist. Um das kurz zu fassen, sagte, ich habe die Namen nicht drauf, Entschuldigung, sagte Ben Enders, dass zum einen natürlich die wunderbare Grafik, die mit dieser Engine zusammenkommt. Brian fügte hinzu, dass es einfach das Team hinter dieser Engine selbst ist, das sich stetig weiterentwickelt und die Möglichkeit quasi die Engine, die sich stetig weiterentwickelt, selbst ein Teil davon zu sein und somit auch jeden Einzelnen, der mit dieser Engine arbeitet, davon profitieren zu lassen. Jetzt habe ich die Schwächen vergessen. Haben wir keine. Vielen Dank für die Hilfe. Wir haben eine Frage und zwar: Will there be a price difference between fuel stations? And could I buy like cheap fuel from station A and bring it to station B, which has a higher price, and sell it there to make my profit?
Yes. No. To give a bit more background, that fuel, like any other, is a commodity like anything else, like iron, like minerals you mine. So you will be able to do fuel trading, right? We also looked into actual fuel mining from gas planets, for example, but it's still in a prototype stage, kind of design stage. But yeah, fuel is a commodity, so.
Die Frage war, ob es möglich sein wird, quasi günstig Treibstoff bei Station A einzukaufen und teuer bei Station B zu verkaufen. Einfache Frage, einfache Antwort, ja. Publikum?
Yeah, I have a question for David. What happened to the crossbow from the Shroud of the Avatar? Will there be other crossbows, nail guns, and will you be able to nail someone on the wall?
That's a good question. I'm not involved into concepting too much, but I know that it's not coming in the very near future. But from internal discussions, I heard that it's still kind of planned to do crossbow. But don't nail me on this. So I just heard that it's still planned, yeah, to do one.
Das Publikum ist nicht dran, wenn, dann ist jetzt der Stream dran. Und danach dann noch eine andere Frage und dann wieder das Publikum. Auch da könnt ihr euch bitte die Übersetzung abholen. Asima ist hinten beim Merc-Stand häufig vertreten. Der beantwortet euch gerne alle Fragen. Alle Fragen. A question from the stream is, how are you going to handle large bodies of water? Is there going to be water displacement and flooding, etc. in regards to ships?
So this is one of the things, because now we're looking into our first planet, making it into the game with actual oceans. This is one of these things that is right now heavily into prototyping, and we're trying to figure out how everything works. Honestly, we were caught a bit behind by this. We knew this was coming, but since a lot of things needed to get finished, those took priority. So for now, water will be a bit off limits until we get to figure that out. We want players to interact with water. We don't want them to stay away from water, but how they actually interact in FPS or as a ship, or what happens if you take, I don't know, a tank through water, that will be on a case-by-case basis. Some ships, tanks will be able to go through water with no problem or with some problems, but manage to get out. If you hit it definitely with enough speed, you will just crush to bits. From an FPS perspective, we definitely want to have underwater content where you manage to actually dive and find things and collect stuff from underwater, and have underwater caves where you can, again, find different things and explore. But all of this stuff is still early on. It's art-wise, we've evolved very fast, and planet-wise, we did not, from my perspective, mostly from a gameplay perspective, we are not caught up with where art is now, but we are definitely hard working on this, and it needs to get done soon.
Okay. Die Frage war in dem Fall, wie mit großen Flächen von Wasser umgegangen wird, ob es möglich sein wird, dass man Wasserverdrängung hat oder auch Fluten, die durch quasi Schiffe ausgelöst wurden. Die Antwort dazu ist, ja, man arbeitet quasi daran, man wusste auch, dass dieses Thema irgendwann aufkommen wird, allerdings ist man so weit noch nicht. Was die Art-Seite angeht, ist man da definitiv schon das Thema angegangen, allerdings muss man auch gucken, dass die FPS dabei berücksichtigt werden und auch der flüssige Spielspaß. Da sind sie halt im Moment noch ein bisschen zurück, aber wollen da aufholen. Und es ist halt auch angedacht, dass man ins Wasser eintauchen kann, dass man dort dann Dinge entdecken kann, Dinge einsammeln kann, etc. pp. So wie man es bisher eigentlich von der Detailverliebtheit, die Star Citizen mit sich bringt, auch gewohnt ist. I just need to
choose wisely.
I just have something like this review from like for two years ago, when you were also the one who answered most of the questions. So, yeah.
That's typically actually what you find is so many things obviously are design related. How fast can this go? Will we be able to do this thing, and so on. So honestly, a majority of everything that gets thrown at us is literally system design.
That's why you brought an assistant.
Ich werde jetzt wieder eine Frage hier hernehmen. Die nächste Frage, die aus dem Publikum kommt. Ihr seht, wir haben hier verschiedene Leute, die verschiedene Bereiche abdecken, Waffe etc. pp. Versucht doch einfach mal ein bisschen Variation mit reinzubringen. Macht es für die Leute, die hier oben auf der Bühne sind und mitgekommen sind, nicht ganz so langweilig. Die kommen sich dann nicht vor wie so ein Kunststück, das irgendwie ausgestellt wurde. I just mentioned that they should vary between the... okay, they understood. So in the past we have seen the face over IP function, and you have introduced Faceware Tag as the firm behind the company behind the technology, and they said that there will be a camera especially made for Star Citizen. Are there any news from your side about that theme, because it got kind of silent?
You'll hear more about it shortly. It is still alive.
Okay, so it's a soon. I hear out of there.
Yes, but not in that context. Yeah, you will hear about it. I would say honestly within the next 30 days, you're definitely going to hear more on it.
Thank you. Um die Frage zu übersetzen, wir haben in der Vergangenheit über dieses Face-over-IP geredet, wo auch Faceware-Tag als die Firma vorgestellt wurde, die quasi hinter dieser Technik steckt. Dort wurde mehr oder minder angekündigt, dass es eine Kamera geben wird, die speziell für Star Citizen hergestellt ist. Man hat relativ wenig seitdem darüber gehört. Jetzt wurde einfach mal nachgefragt, ist das noch existent oder ist es eingeschlafen? Die Antwort ist, wir werden in ein paar Tagen soon darüber mehr erfahren. So, Publikumsfrage. Ja, ich sehe dich.
Hello, will we see animals in the game in the future, like in the film Alien? We discover a shipwreck, and this animal lives there and attack us in this wreck, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
Kann ich übersetzen, ja. Und zwar, die Frage war, ob wir Tiere in Star Citizen sehen werden. Es wurde Bezug genommen auf einen Film Alien, ne? in dem man einen Wrack sieht, und in diesem Wrack sind quasi Tiere, die dann quasi die Menschen angreifen. Ob es sowas in der Art auch geben wird? Ja. Dadurch, dass die Frage so kurz war, gestehe ich euch noch eine zweite zu. Tut mir leid, der wibbelt hier so rum.
Hi guys. Earlier you mentioned about the process from company resources and handling of it. One question, if we have company resources, what the company is owning, our own corps, will they are physically in the game, or they are just numbers on the account of this company?
Are you asking if you have a treasure hoard?
Yes. Yeah, like this. You start.
So, if you're asking whether, let's say you have 10 ships, do they exist in physical space in the world?
No, I speak about the cargo. If you have, as a company, if you have materials like iron or copper or something, will this be physical in the game, or is it just a number on the account, on the company account?
So the idea is to have these hangars where everything you own you can touch. You have a ship you can touch, you have crates of minerals you can touch. Obviously at some point that becomes, you guys are hoarders, you will collect everything in the universe. There will be limits to what we can put in there, and we're kind of right now, we're dancing between the two, how much we can show as actual crates on top of crates of whatever diamonds that you've collected throughout the years of playing, and how much we have to put as diamonds, 5,435 tons of it. Because obviously for us it's easier to store the number, but it's also nice to walk through your diamond holes and stare at them and kind of open a crate and pick up a diamond. It's a nice feeling. I know Chris has always been one for this tactile feel where he likes to touch everything that exists in the world. It actually has to be there and you need to touch it. Do you need to touch 5 million diamonds at the same time? Maybe not. So it's enough if you see a lot of them and you can open a crate and pick one up and throw it in someone's face, just because you're so rich. But yeah, we're trying to reach a middle ground.
Werde ich nicht übersetzen. Mache ich einfach nicht. Dafür wurde ich nicht eingestellt. Ich mache das unentgeltlich, was erwartet ihr? I choose wisely. One of the questions that might be, because recently there is a new graphic card from NVIDIA, one of the question is if Star Citizen will support the RTX function.
We build on a daily basis and work into our plans the ability as much as we can to help future-proof the tech. So when new stuff comes online, we can take advantage of it. New hardware comes to you guys can take advantage of it. I think if and when we saw a huge advantage in any capacity for ray tracing to be prominent, and that helped with either the visuals or the immersive experience, or to some extent, I absolutely think we would grab it, right, and do what we can with it. As of right now, while we're on this stage, we've yet to see that huge advantage on something that's on the consumer level, to where people can actually go, oh my God, I have this. This is now 10% more amazing, right? But we're always open if and when that stuff comes online. Like we said, if we believe it's going to be a benefit, we'll use it. As of right now, I don't see that on ray tracing, but it may change in the future.
Okay. Frage war relativ einfach. Wir haben Nvidia, die jetzt vor kurzem erst die neue Grafikkartengeneration auf den Markt geschmissen hat, die ja Raytracing unterstützt. Eine der Fragen aus dem Stream war halt, ob diese Technologie auch von Star Citizen unterstützt wird. Die Antwort von Brian war relativ einfach, und zwar sagte er, wenn ein großer Vorteil für die Spielerschaft gesehen werden kann, wenn man sehen kann, dass ein großer Anteil von den Spielern darauf quasi Zugriff hat und das auch richtig nutzen kann, weil es der Immersion hilft, dann wird man das sicherlich aufgreifen. Andernfalls muss man gucken. So.
So, thank you. So the coming planets will have different biomes like jungles and deserts. How do you plan the transition from one to another so that it doesn't look so sharp? Maybe you can describe it a little bit.
There's a door, right? You just open?
Yeah.
I hope not.
It's like border control. We're talking about ecosystems, right? Transitioning from one ecosystem to the other. There's been a lot of changes in the Planet Tech in the last. I joined CIG 10 months ago, and since then there's been a lot of changes coming into the Planet Tech. We can push way more detail in. You can have way more ground textures, more ecosystems on the planet. That's why with the next update, we try to, have more diverse planets, especially when it comes to Hurston. It's going to be a very diverse planet compared to what you have seen so far. But when it comes to the simple transition from one to the other ecosystem, it will basically blend smoothly. So that is going to be supported by the color of the planet, which plays together with every single ecosystem. So basically by painting or defining smooth gradients or even sharp cuts, we can basically visually give you a smooth or a hard transition from one to the other ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay. Werde ich auch nicht übersetzen. Kommt aus der Community, die hier ist. Another question is, we just spoke about faceware tech and the camera. There was another project. You also might remind on the joystick. About that, it also got very silent. Is there any news about joysticks, or is that like, do not speak about it?
Yeah, we're definitely interested in finding the right partner to be able to put something out there. It's all things that we would want internally as well. So it's something that is still alive, but there's nothing concrete with it. As you all know, in the previous ones, in the previous deal that we had, there was issues on the company side, and that's ultimately what forced that to go away. It's something that we're still interested in, and we rely kind of on the biz dev side for them to work with external partners to see if there's something that would work for us and would, in the end, have a product that we think you guys would enjoy. We have had people come to us in the past in regards to other products that might be cool ideas, but ultimately, if we don't think it's up to the standards of what you guys would want, then we stop those things from progressing. So we have our own high standards that we want to hold up to, and I think if that right partner comes around with any type of external peripheries, then absolutely we would entertain it.
Okay. Jeder von uns wird sich daran erinnern können, bei irgendeiner der vielen, vielen Präsentationen in den vielen, vielen Jahren, die wir jetzt quasi Star Citizen und der Entwicklung folgen, war eines der Themen, dass man einen Joystick hat. Da war mal eine Firma im Gespräch. Es wurde auch darum relativ leise. Die Antwort war, es ist definitiv nicht aus den Köpfen, es wird auch weiterhin daran gearbeitet. Allerdings ist derzeit noch nicht der richtige Partner da. Es gab sicherlich die ein oder andere Firma, die da mal angefragt hat und was vorgestellt hat. Allerdings hat ja, CIG ja auch relativ hohe Qualitätsstandards und denen muss auch entsprochen werden. Und ja, irgendwann wird sicherlich der richtige kommen, aber im Moment ist es noch nicht so weit. Eine Frage aus dem Stream, dann wieder eine aus dem Publikum. Weapons question. What's the status of beam weapons? Will we be getting them in the near future? And will any ship be able to equip them like regular energy weapons in the game now?
So, I didn't get that question, sorry.
Okay.
Auch auf Deutsch gerne.
Die steht ja auf Englisch. Ich mach's mir einfacher. Ich zeige dir jetzt die Frage und dann kannst du die selbst mal lesen.
Okay.
Warte. Und zwar ist es die.
Energy values or heat when designing the weapon. That's an interesting question. Of course, I'm a weapon artist, so it's kind of a tricky question for me because I don't design the weapon. I build the weapon, technically integrate it into the game, and of course we try to maintain the quality that you would expect from a real-world weapon. So we think about it, would it work? Does it make sense? Even if it's a science fiction weapon and nothing like that exists in the real world, we try to make sense, try to see if it makes sense. Yeah, but when it comes to the values, the energy values and heat values, I think that's really specific and more for designers to answer, yeah.
Sorry, I have to take over. Definitely we will have beam weapons used as not to replace, but to complement our existing weaponry for ships. You guys might have noticed the first beam weapon actually in-game already in 3.2. Anyone who has a prospector might have tried shooting another ship with it. That is a beam weapon, and that is our first implementation of the beam weapon tech. It's probably the most powerful beam in the game, and it will be for quite a while if you can actually manage to hit anything with it. Yeah, we will definitely have more of those. And you will be able to equip them to ships and shoot your beam weapons at your evil enemies.
Publikumfrage. Ja, ich weiß. Ich muss leider die Seite und die Seite auslassen. Ich habe die Seite so ein bisschen stiefmütterlich behandelt. Also ihr seid eher die Lieblingsseite und das so, ja, ist da. Danke. Sie winkt so schön. Wir haben so selten Frauen, die ans Mikro kommen. Das war für ihn. Was denn jetzt?
Also meine Frage wäre, wird es irgendwann in der Zukunft möglich sein, irgendwelche fremdartigen Tiere, so fluffy kleine möchtegern Wombats geben, die man schmuggeln kann? Gegebenenfalls, man muss sie irgendwo im Weltraum halt einmal finden.
I'm sorry, I can't even translate that. I do not understand her accent. I'm sorry. It was about animals, special animals. Like what's a wombat?
So, are you asking about pets and if you can smuggle pets illegally?
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know about the smuggling aspect. You probably can smuggle pets if you put them into a box. I do not recommend it.
Okay, you have the animals, but do you have object containers or containers for it that they can be alive on the B part, from A to B?
So yeah, there will be. We're gonna need transport containers for animals because they don't fare too well in space. At least most of them.
The same, yeah, so this will be true for pets. The same will be true for transporting live creatures of any kind, including humans. You will have prisoner transport, so you'll be able to transport these guys from here to here. Obviously, if you transport them from A to B and in point C in the middle your life support fails, you might not succeed. The same happens with your animals. So if your animals do not get the life support that they need, or the power fails to whatever is keeping them alive during maybe you need to keep them refrigerated, cryostasis. If the power fails for that on your journey, you might not make it and you might have a dead pet. Sorry. It's a cruel universe.
Erweiter? Die Frage erweiter? Nein? Tut mir leid, ich habe dich einfach...
You can also come. We're going to be around after the panel. So if there's more questions that they're more in-depth, you can come around and ask them.
Du bist eine große Hilfe, ich weiß, warum die dich eingestellt haben. So, ja, bevor dir der Arm abfällt, komme ich auch zu dir. Achtung, 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 nee, das mache ich selber. Nein, das ist Moderatoren-Ehre. Bitte schön.
A few months ago, there appeared something that was called a weapon refactor, and I would like to know what is entailed by it on the roadmap. You can see weapon refactor. Can you give any details what is meant by it?
Sorry, I'm not involved in that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
I can't answer that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can give a little detail. Sorry.
The Dan Truffen Show.
It's very little detail that I can give, but generally our entire weapon system has been through a major refactor. We've upgraded, as you guys know, from Weapon 1.0, what we used to call it, now it's Weapon 2.0. It allows us to do way cooler stuff like beam weapons. That was a thing we could not do properly with the old tech. So that is one part of it. There's multiple smaller parts, but now we're starting to see the fruits of that labor, finally.
Ist auch derjenige, der die Frage beantwortet. Nur für den Rest von euch. I have one more question out of this corner. He was staying the whole time in my bag. I couldn't see him, so now I have to pay attention to him.
I was in hiding, sorry. Sarat with Gimni.org. I know over the time when you were doing asteroid fields and so on, you consulted astronomers in some of your research. When you were doing your plants, your fauna and so on, you were researching botany sources. What resources are you accessing to research for the planning and design of the fauna of various planets?
You look deep in thought there for a second.
Yeah, so for example, for all the plant life on our planets, our artist, environment artist Özlem, who is specialized in building plants of all sorts for games, has a lot of experience with it. So whenever she plans out a new set for the planets, she actually takes a lot of time, Googles the plant life that is supposed to be growing on that ecosystem or in that specific area of the planet that she's supposed to build. So there's a lot of, before we start building anything as artists, but that doesn't just go for her, but for all of the artists who are working at CIG. Before we start something, we usually take at least, you know, a few days to actually study the thing that we are supposed to do, supposed to build, and then try to create some sort of plan and get into the idea of the thing, and yeah, before we actually kick off building it for the game.
Ich möchte nicht gemein erscheinen, ich bin auch nicht faul oder sonstiges, aber einfach im Anbetracht der Zeit, die immer weiter voranschreitet, meine Übersetzung kostet natürlich auch wertvolle Zeit, das, was ich jetzt sage, kostet auch wertvolle Zeit. Ich werde jetzt nicht weiter großartig übersetzen, ich werde jetzt einfach von Frage zu Frage zischen, damit wir relativ viele Fragen noch in den Stream kriegen und alles, was danach irgendwie anfällt, ich denke mal, die werden noch ein bisschen außerhalb der Bühne zur Verfügung stehen, um die ein oder andere Frage zu beantworten. Ich hatte auf der Seite gerade noch eine winkende Hand. Ich komme sofort zu euch. Die winkende Hand ist weg. Die winkende Hand ist beschäftigt.
The sound of one-hand typing. No, about beam weapons, in one of the recent ATVs we saw asteroid mining in space, and obviously, you know, as the rock split apart, chunks went flying everywhere, and I was wondering about the collection beam. Does it also function as a tractor beam? So what I'm trying to mine, does it slow the rock down because I'm technically pulling on it, and can I, you know, stabilize these rocks before they all fly off, or is there another mechanic scheduled for that?
Right now it doesn't. We looked into having it function as a tractor beam, and we were a bit worried about the consequences. We definitely want tractor beams eventually in the game, but right now we miss a lot of things to have that functioning properly, because you can use it, you guys will use it to crazy purposes. You will use it against people, against all kind of weird objects. So right now the way the extractor beam works, it basically slices very fine chunks of the rock, and those we consider small enough for the beam to be able to pull. It's a weak tractor beam. It can't be used for anything very of high mass. So while, yeah, in space, when we looked in space, we first kind of got scared about what happens if everything starts spreading around, and we initially thought we need to make a tool that stops it. We thought of stasis fields, all kind of beams to slow down objects and stuff like this. And eventually we reached the conclusion that it's more fun to have the rocks float in space a bit and have the player actually chase them down and find where they flew off. And that's the beauty of how mining works. The worse you do, the more they will spread, and you'll have to run more. The person that does it perfectly will have pretty much all his rocks in a limited area, and he'll just have to fly a little bit. The person that does it bad will have to fly kilometers sometimes to find the chunks that flew off an asteroid.
Weitere Frage aus dem Publikum? Die Frage wurde beantwortet, richtig? Glücklich? Schade.
Hello, guys. Ruafo here. Many years ago, there was a video about a droid, a mining droid, which looks like a giant spider. Is it still in the heads of you, or is it gone? The project, I mean.
No comment.
Muss es auch geben. Hier sind so viele. Was ist mit der Seite? Die ist so faul. Ja.
Hi. 3.3 will bring 2 builds with OCS and without. Is it for you double work to do a build still without OCS, or is it basically one build and the object container streaming is switched off?
Yes and no. We can do it either way. It's not really too much more work for us. They're all based off the same stream, and it's where we push it off and how we branch it. getting OCS in the hands of some people right now in order for us to help dig into it further and to see what breaks at the quantity of players that come in. It's a huge advantage for us. So it's really no additional overhead, and whatever overhead there is, the benefits greatly outweigh that.
In Anbetracht der Zeit nehme ich noch eine ganze Frage. Eine. Oh, sorry.
Are there items planned which give the players the possibility to jump from a ship onto the surface of a planet, like jetpacks, ropes to be rappelled, or parachutes? And if so, do the upcoming exoskeletons have the possibility to do this as well, or even less the only ones?
Hey Dan, can you answer this one?
No, well, no, wait. I've done that before. They are planned, but the priority right now is not super high. As you know, there's so much stuff to finish off, but definitely we want this idea, because you mentioned the exoskeleton suits. We want to allow you guys to put whatever you want in that suit, well, within limits, but put whatever you think is best for whatever you want to do with that suit. So if you want to skydive from a ship and land and shoot people while you're landing, it's up to you, but you'll have to lose some things. If you put the jetpack, or let's not call it jetpack, let's say you amp your thrusters to such a degree on your EVA suit that they're strong enough to decelerate you down. Or there's a parachute on your back. You might not be able to put a weapon on your back, so you will have to trade something off. It's never, you can't just attach it on to whatever you had before and not lose anything. There's always a trade-off. You have to choose what you want. If you want the parachute, you have to give something up. If you want the super thrusters that slow you down, maybe they will consume so much power that your shields will not function. So, or if you have shields, if you have armor that is energized, that will not function, or will function to 10% of what it normally does. So if someone shoots you while you're falling, tough luck.
To end this on a funny anecdote, these limits don't count for designers, and someone was able to attach a quantum drive to an EVA suit. We're not going to name any names, but it did work.
As I have said, it was the last question from the audience. It is also the last question from the live stream and also from me. So before you're released, please stay seated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you also. MVP, thank you. There is still something for you that we want to give you. We have the streamers that are streaming your Star Citizen every time, and they also want to thank you for your wonderful work, for the time that you spend here with us, answering everything. So first of all, the streamers on the stage, please. And
Hallo liebe Leute hier im Publikum. Wir sind ganz leicht aufgeregt, weil das nicht alltäglich für uns ist, auf einer Bühne zu stehen, sondern nur vor der Kamera zu sitzen. Und we have a little surprise for you, for Brian and for Ulf. It's a little gift from our streamers that streamed the breaks between the panels on Twitch. And it's a little gift, a CON42 with the signature from our streamers. And yeah, the second one is for Brian. Thanks for taking time to visit our great convention and for the great work you do every day in Foundry 42 and CIG. Thank you guys. Was ich noch vergessen habe, our streamers namentlich zu erwähnen. Und zwar sind das die Streamer Pseikshot, our YouTuber Azalen, our Twitch streamers Jacktrippert, DieBluemchenKuh, HerrMatthias und den Kamerascheuen Zaakor. Vielen Dank, dass ihr an meiner Seite das durchgemacht habt. Und ja, vielen Dank. So, das war's. Ich wünsche euch einen restlichen schönen Abend, einen restlichen schönen guten Abend und ja, wünsche euch bei den anderen Ständen noch viel Spaß.
Du kannst dich nicht einfach von dann machen, da kommt noch eine Antwort.
Was?
Da kommt noch eine Antwort.
Sorry.
No problem. No, this is awesome. Thank you. People organizing stuff like this. You know, I put an emphasis on that. Us at Foundry 42, CIG, we had nothing to do with any of this, right? When we hear it's happening, we do everything we can to support as much as possible. It's community building community, and it's awesome. And we feel incredibly fortunate, right? Yeah, we spend our Saturday, I had to, you know, beg the wife, and she went off with the son. We spend our time to be here because this project's important to us, and when we see the passion that comes back to us, it's really, really, really cool, and we're in a really unique position to be in. So I welcome more of these conventions, and I embrace them, and we will come to every single thing we can and support as much as possible. You guys streaming and showing it to strangers on a daily basis. I mean, this community is awesome, and we're only getting more and more traction, and the project's getting more and more mature as it goes along. So thanks to all of you and everybody watching.
Danke. Ich bin gerne euer Moderator. Danke. So, you think you're finished and you're released? No. It's not like this. There's still something ongoing. Also, the team from CON42 has something. We also want to say thank you for coming here the second time. So, yeah, Bakril, where are you?
I'm scared.
You should be.
Don't be scared, Brian.
Sorry, I'm never scared.
Special brew out of the universe.
You took that picture.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's a special beer from the Star Citizen universe, the small edition of the CON42 beer.
Für alle, die nicht wissen, was das ist quasi Bier, wo das Label extra entworfen wurde. Es kommt aus dem Star Citizen Universum Schmolz. Und das ist quasi von dem Organisationsteam für euch. Guten Durst. Lasst es euch schmecken. Ja, Skau.
I just want to read what says on the beer. This is awesome. We've made the blend of the galaxy's most economically priced ingredients to bring you the best bang for your buck. TM.
Also, don't forget, don't drink and fly, drink responsible, fly slow, code faster.
For technical reasons, this beer is not Smalls or a good Tannenzapf from Rothaus, but Becks. Sorry for this.
So, now you think you're released, right? You're right. Thank you very much.